As promised in an earlier video, we're going to show you how to do a belt change on the record Coronet Herald. So we've got a 3-step pulley that's provided for maximum versatility. For most of the turning, we'll be using this middle pulley, which is perfect and provides a good torque. But if you need a maximum torque comparable to much larger lathes and machines for heavy cuts or low speed work, then we're going to use this pulley 1. At the same time, if we want high speed, minimum torque for jobs such as polishing or burnishing acrylics, and the top pulley gives access to very high speeds. So let's have a look at changing the belt. So to change the belt over, what we're simply going to do is loosen off on the locking handle, and then we can bring the motor towards us, which loosens the belt off. Then we can just move across to the middle speed, or pulley number 2, which is the one that you'll be on majority of the time. Once the poly V's in the belt are lined up, we can put the weight of the motor back on, just rotate the actual pulley and just make sure that the poly V's are actually sitting in the ridges provided and they're not over on one or over on the other. So once that's nicely settled in, we can just let the weight of the motor give you the tension on the belt before we lock off. And again, simply to move over to pulley number 1, which is the lower speeds but higher torque, we should do exactly the same. Move across on the lower pulley, across on the larger diameter, let the weight of the motor drop, and then just roll the belt round so that it's sitting on, again, on or in the poly V's, giving it a nice smooth rotation. Once that's been done again just the weight of the motor before we lock off. And that gives you the full range of belt change and speed options. So while we've got the lid open and the machine isolated, because we've been changing the belts over, it's a good chance to actually show you the indexing system on the Coronet Herald. It's marked at 1 to 24, and how this is operated is we've got a disc that's sprung, so you remove and let it drop into the recess. Then as you rotate the spindle, it'll lock into position. You can see what your position you're in by the viewing hole on the front of the casting. So obviously once you've got the position required, we can remove that, rotate again before dropping in to the next slot. That then allows you to mark out your work as required. Once that's done, remove the disc and put back into the position that allows the spindle to turn freely. One other thing while we've got the lid open, a lot of people will use the indexing as part of the spindle lock, which is fine on the lighter work. But if you have an issue or you get something stuck on the actual spindle nose, a better way to do this is on the hand wheel at the rear, there's 2 holes drilled through. So you can use the Tommy bar provided, push this through the holes and locate the lower part of the headstock, which secures the spindle. This then allows you to remove any work from the spindle nose. Again, before we start the machine up, remove the Tommy bar, close the lid, lock in position, put power back onto the machine before we turn on. I hope that's been helpful, but if there's any more questions on the Coronet Herald in general or on the headstock, please let us know and we'll do our best to answer them.